the team. Like when you talk about America, you talk about Texas Nation. They're the team that's scrimming Optic Texas, getting in reps, learning from them, even like teaching some of their formula over to that squad. Really, kind of calling out this team here as something that's actually helped the main roster. So it is insane, I think, to see this situation at the moment. We said maybe there's a world where they do, come out a little bit flat and BearClaw take full advantage of it, and are they ever? But hey, the job's not done just yet. No, we'll see if there's anything left for Texas Nation. They're going to be on the defense first, and let's see if it can be convincing here to try to regain a little bit.
And the thing you have to remember, as we've had the tick progression change, this is the first time we've seen Gavudu Control be played. How does that impact how both teams stylistically want to approach this? Not just from the offensive side, but also defensively. And how about Welly? Far forward, he can deny top floor green and also put this extra bit of elimination pressure over towards the B zone. Texas Nation almost giving away one tick of progress for free here. Welly looking for Brezzy, will find it with a couple of the pre-fire shots that go towards the boat. They all thought he was in there, but they don't capitalize by securing the first tick. So Texas Nation reclaim B, but are a bit amiss over towards the A zone at the moment.
Noisy's not missing right now. 3-0 start for him. Waiting for Brezzy. He finds the head. Takes down Brezzy for a 4-0 start. And that is going to give you so much leverage around this 8-point. But Kismet does answer back here on the board. Maybe looking for that second. One more up top. That second tick did not fully come through. And now ring around the rosy we go. Well, he finds the cleanup. Everyone coming off spawn for BearClaw Esports. Radial's on the point, but Brezzy will take him down. And that's going to at least buy a tad bit more time as that second tick finally comes through.
Yeah, Havoc needs to move right now. He's kind of stuck in the middle of the map, trying to hit a pinch, but is a bit cut off from the rest of his team. But it works out still. They keep the middle of the map safe, and Havoc 5 in a row after a slow start. Now an opportunity to try to get the spawn trap in play and maybe just freely work towards potential streaks. Kismet in the back lines him up and perps him down. Well, the last one to survive, but that's not a story that you're going to turn around and want to tell anyone. A clean, full spawn trap for Texas Nation.
And now fighting out of your spawn. Not looking likely that they're going to be able to take this round. They could still maybe push and get the remaining tick on A. But it's going to be pretty difficult here, especially working from a life deficit. But maybe that's your window. 2 kills come through. Havoc is still keeping players spawn trapped, and that's going to be the glide now earned. 7 in a row for Havoc after the 0-2 start. And this is still going to be at least a stop on the clock here as A might end up going over.
This is actually winnable for BearClaw. They're going to get an extra 60 seconds, and they've got at least a couple of members that can threaten front green. And on top of that, Radial, who has not been seen yet, is going to... not find Kismet. I thought he had him dead to rights. But Kismet just ducks underneath it in the hopes of BearClaw being able to stretch on to B quickly will be completely done.
Havoc is trying to get into the heads of BearClaw right now in the first round after this is finally, I think, the first time we've even seen Texas Nation show up in the series.
True.
But a couple more kills come through, potentially for Havoc, but... it will be actually 2 on the side of BearClaw. Now no lives remaining. Has to be perfect from here on out, and you got to get to the zone. So a lot to be done. And the start of it looks like it's going to be trying to work to the back. They do clear out Havoc. That's going to force out a spawn likely over by P5. And now you have to work quickly because Havoc's off spawn and you find him again. But they are starting to find some eliminations, chipping away at the lives. However, getting to the zone is the problem.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing here. You're fighting up against the continual respawn of Havoc. But you're also got 2 players that were top ring.
Wait
a second. What? How do they pull that off? You've got 2 Texas Nation members over towards ring, and they don't win a single gunfight. Hello? Now it's a 2v3 the other direction. Brezzy's able to find 1. Clock has been stopped. Noisy and Welly playing really close to home here on top of this B zone. But not enough to fully stack it with 2 players. First tick is done. Brezzy threatening from one side, Jordan from the other, and as Brezzy takes down Welly, now it's all down to Noisy on 3 in a row, but would have to find 4 and 5 and gets the 4th. Nearly responds to General, but isn't quite able to lock up, I believe, even the second tick of progress, let alone the second kill.
I mean, that was a spawn trap with, I think, 35 seconds left on the clock to a 1v1 for the round. Like, just let that set in for a second. Like, my goodness. This BearClaw Esports roster, they are just showing up a little bit different today. Even in situations where it looks like it's completely over, it cannot be won, they're still able to claw their way out of it and almost win that one. But Texas Nation, It's got to be a nice breath of fresh air after that. We get around. But now, can they try to carry this 2 into offense? Welly with the challenge, sub in hand. Can't win that battle versus Kismet. And now it's up to Radial to try to hold the circle.
Yeah, and Paradox, I see you. I know you're starting on Chris Radial because you want us to talk about him being 3-10, and there is a lot to be said about that. Although he's immediately making us kind of second-guess that narrative as he comes away with 2 1/3. So all of a sudden, 3-10 turns to 6-10 with potential streaks. And the defense of BearClaw Esports have dominated the initial plays towards B and also simultaneously through the middle of the map.
It's a good kill by Brezzy. Gets the trade there onto Radial. This should allow you to at least get some control around the ship here. Kismet's up top. Well, he's waiting for his teammates to come off spawn, but the stun is going to at least notify them of his position as he's going to relocate. Everyone now ready to play retake. First tick almost in. BearClaw could stop it, and Exotic is causing some havoc in the back as he finds a kill, and that puts pressure on players in the ship. But Brezzy comes up with 2, and it is still a decent stack here for the side of Texas Nation. They still have a lot of their members inside of the hard point.
Exotic has changed his profession to Jordan General Farmer as he continues to put a lot of pressure on General off the backside spawns. It's 2 kills in a row on him, and now as Exotic wants to come help the retake out, he will find one more to help open up the zone. Just a touch, Radial. Well, left arm swinging doesn't get read by Havoc, so that will once again force Texas Nation to give up a little bit of space to the middle of the map and the high ground in order to try to confirm this A zone. But for BearClaw Esports, they will concede this and decide to instead default for their setup that they want for the B point. But they do kind of commit 2 players forward, so the significant setup has all of a sudden just been kind of given away.
Yeah, and now a lot of what you need to do right here for BearClaw is just how many kills can you find? How long can you stop them from moving across the map? And Brezzy has a read on 1, gets help from General, and it looks like they're not going to be able to defend them for too long. So Texas Nation, minute 15 on the clock. 15 lives playing up against 19 here in their favor, but they're going to have to move quick, and they're going to have to find some gunfights, and it's going to be all about pushing into the back.
And they're going to use the glide. This is such a good use of glide bomb. You know exactly where these defenders are, and you don't even worry about the players up top at ring at the moment. Get this spawn control first and foremost, and make these players off spawn for BearClaw feel like they have to do something immaculate. And, well, they do. Oh my. That is such a beautiful setup for Texas Nation trying to win the spawns, and they don't even get a single kill off of the glide bomb. That is just, what awareness for BearClaw Esports to come back and help their spawn and get those clean kills. That is unreal.
And now you're down to 30 seconds here, and you're going to have to try to break this from the front. Playing for a tick is about all you can do to try to see if you can maybe get some favor if this goes to around 5. But Noisy is still alive, healthy on the tank, up until the nades end up clearing him out. But as soon as you make that push, you're running into AR after AR. Radial for 1, Welly for a second, 15 seconds left, 1 final push.
Brezzy close has no real support from any other angle than this flood position. Kismet's able to force a team kill into the mix, 7 playing up against 10, and the final touch will start to unfold, but unfortunately, no kills are there to follow. So BearClaw Esports, after almost clutching up their opening offense, pretty significantly stopped Texas Nation from finding one of their own, even though lives were a bit of a problem for a moment, giving us a 1-1 tie going into the 3rd.
And a big part of it is the man on your screen right there, Welly, 15 and 12. Finding that 2-piece immediately after coming off that spawn there from bottom green. And that's what stops that entire push, because they invest the glide, they try to make the play, and once Texas Nation lose out on that battle, well, then it's all about trying to get control of the ship, trying to move in towards circle, and there's so many steps with such limited time left that they can't do it in time. And now into round 3. This one, hopefully more convincing, I think, for their sake. We'll see if this comes down to another 1v1 or if they can defend A maybe a tad bit longer. It is going to be a first and second blood, though, for Texas Nation, so a strong start for round 3.
And with those passive angles being won, it gives the freedom for Kismet to try to hit an opening route. Although, he was number 8, he falls. So BearClaw, once again, when you think that they're about to be put into trouble, they work their way out of it, no worries. And in fact, they've got high ground control over the boat. Havoc's still searching for at least some sort of a position here by ring, but you kind of got to get somebody defensively to worry about this A zone. Really, no one's in a position to go rechal this. The players at green would love to be able to stay here and contest top boat, but they're going to have to forfeit that in order to deal with Noisy inside the zone. Nice shot from General. Get him the double. And as Noisy will get flushed out, an opportunity for Texas Nation to retake the boat.
Yeah, General allows that play to happen with those 2 big kills because it's where they're positioned at that allows them to move through from the low ground. So with only 1 tick of progress, the call for BearClaw. Let's move over to B. Let's see if we can maybe draw some pressure away from some of the map control that they have here on A, and it is going to be Radial into the back, but Kismet finds the trade, so that push over to B, completely shut down, but it does draw some members away, so now it moves them back over to A, but with 25 seconds left here, Alan, it's going to have to be convincing.
Yeah, this is a huge advantage for Texas Nation. You've got every bit of the map that you could possibly want, forcing BearClaw to have to flood from one direction and one direction only. And the full envelopment of this A zone is very convincing. So you get a desperate play from Welly. He's going to try to run over towards B to stop the clock. Brezzy, aware of it, though, is here to try to contest while the rest of the BearClaw members are trying to get onto the A zone, and they do not get the break that they were looking for. As Brezzy does eliminate the last player towards B, it's now just keep the guns up, spam the doorways. Ooh. Find yourself a convincing defense if you're Texas Nation.
Much better look at a Kismet here, too.
Oh, yeah.
Big kills coming through for Papa Kiz. 4 spree there to end off that round number 3. And that's the Texas Nation that we know. A very clean round. Giving over, I think, maybe one, two ticks. I don't even think the second tick came in, right? Just keeping them off that zone just about the entirety of the round. Every time they made a move over to B, this time around they had someone in the cut ready and actually ahead of the play. That's something we were missing in the round number 1 here. So just a lot more solid coming out here. But can they do the same coming in towards offense? Chance to be able to come away with some ticks of progress very well could be the difference of who gets round 5.
Yeah, and the thing about this, if you're Texas Nation, you confirm round 5 defense by just finding 2 ticks of progress here, I believe, on either zone. So if you're BearClaw, you would love to, of course, establish defensive dominance. But pending you don't get a full-on defensive hold on either zone, you may have to try to play for streaks on somebody, just because that's kind of a necessary tool to win an offense. So we'll see how things unfold. Good defensive start so far as Texas Nation continue to throw numbers at this B zone. And outside of touching it for maybe 5 seconds, there really wasn't any success there whatsoever. And now as BearClaw start to read the numbers are thin, they want to try to take over the high ground control by ring, but they do miss just a touch, leading to more Texas Nation members flooding on into B as they stack for the first tick of progress.
Oh, and now you got to worry about Noisy on the flank being a bit of a nuisance. General has to stop him, and he does. And Havoc is still alive. 2 ticks of progress. Looking pretty solid here. The B zone almost captured. You got 1 push here for the side of BearClaw Esports to try to stop this final tick from coming through. They're trying to wall bang it. 3 members are all going to collapse, but it's still progress. And now General going to inch up a little closer, but Noisy finds it from the mid-cut. Noisy finds the second. It's still good work from Texas Nation, but at least for BearClaw, the B zone is not captured.
Oh, and this is still problematic, though, because BearClaw have a lot to do if they want to even defend this A zone. The mid-map's being contested. You've got a couple of members on top of the boat that are holding high ground positions to make sure no defenders can walk in. And as Kismet gets the information, his gun's up. He's ready to go. Second tick of progress is going to be locked up. Exotic is the only defender that may be able to hit this. And as he comes down the staircase, Kismet gets a read off of that as well. 3 in a row for Kiz. And BearClaw are going to have to give away the A zone, look to play for exits, and, well, at least they're able to find the exits. The problem is it's a minute 43 in the clock, and 2 ticks of progress are already done on the B zone.
That's right. 1 stack, 1 clean wipe, 1 flip of the spawns. If you're trying to catch on to what I'm saying, you cannot mess up here if you're BearClaw Esports, or it might be the map. And General's having a little trouble with the windows. I do too, from time to time. The shutter's not easy to always get open, but he is nonetheless going to be back here. Now what damage can he do? He's got teammates with him, but BearClaw, look like they're well aware of this. They're going to flip the map here, and Exotic is actually behind enemy lines. He could still put in some work.
Exotic spawned in the Bermuda Triangle of 3 different Texas Nation members and still came out with 1 kill. I mean, there's really nowhere else for him to go. He had to spawn close towards the 5th hardpoint. So that actually stalls out Texas Nation pretty convincingly from being able to fulfill this pinch that they were setting up. But Kismet, from mid-map, finding a double, now means that everything has to be done by Exotic, and he's good for it. Double cleans up the mid. Sure, you've got Brezzy on the zone, but there's no help anywhere to be found. And a little turn and burn from Radial. Wants more than that. Brezzy still alive. Hold on. Brezzy may just capture this by himself. Nobody from BearClaw's going to get here. Oh! BearClaw were so worried about retaking the middle of the map, they kind of forgot to send numbers off spawn to send nades onto the... actually coming off of the spawn to try to help defensively for Radial, so not only does Brezzy find 1, he actually kind of does...
have a chance to be able to potentially close things out going in towards the Berlin hardpoint.
And that's 1 lifeline down for